Welcome to Who's a Knox podcast. This episode, I got Brent Hyder with me. This dude has been a friend of mine
Brent
for...
Hyder.
Brent Hyder?
Yeah, Hyder.
Well, what's the other one? What's
MidnightHyder.
MidnightHyder?
It's a play on MidnightHyder, yeah. We're going to leave this in.
It's going to make me look bad, dude.
A little egg on your face for the start of the podcast. Like, first sentence in. I love it.
You know, the thing is, I've been practicing it like that.
Really?
Like, I was in the shower today. I was like, Brent Hyder. And I
do ride, but yeah, it is Hyder. That's my last name.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, okay, tell us a little bit about yourself, and what you do.
So, obviously, I'm a musician. Those that have seen me play out in Knoxville have seen like this live looping show that I put on. Basically, I play all the instruments in the show. I do the guitar, I do the bass lines, I do the drums, and then I also do like the leads and the harmonies, and then I'll do vocal harmonies as well and sing all of the parts as well. So I'm kind of live producing and building a song as the set goes on.
Just multi-talented, just like I do this, boom, 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 boom.
It's kind of like, you know how they say the mother of invention is necessity? It's like I didn't have guys to play with for the longest time.
Oh,
so I'm just
okay.
like, well, how can I build this, and how can I make this like a bigger sound and fill the space and you know, let people hear more aspects of music that I love personally. Because I my thing is that when I listen to a song, I'm kind of breaking it down to its base parts in my head. Like I'm seeing through like just what's on the surface, and I'm like, okay, those drums, that fill sounds really good. That bass is doing this thing, and the guitar is harmonizing and recharacterizing the feeling of the song by the context that it fits in. I nerd out about music, which is why me and Michael Morgan, we talk a lot about music theory, and he's got such a level of knowledge that I don't have, but like I more feel it intuitively.
He'll go 30,000 feet real quick.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
then he'll just go boom, right down to the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah.
That's funny. That sounds hard and complicated, and also...
I would
do
say
you
complex.
delegate? Is that a thing? Do you ever play with anyone else, or is it always just you?
No, I do jam with other people for sure. Yeah, I think that my learning the different parts has kind of like given me that opportunity to kind of like know where I'm supposed to fit in with other people. Like I fronted a band for a long time where I played no instruments. I was just lead vocals, and I fill in every now and again as the lead singer for a couple different acts out here in East Tennessee. But yeah, I've jammed with several guys and just done different formats of the same thing.
Okay, so I'd really like to hear some of your music before we even get in, just so people can get a better understanding of what you're doing and
I love it.
What you got going on. So
Hell
go
yeah.
ahead and grab your stuff.
All right. We got this little Seafoam mint green baby.
It's a beautiful guitar.
Thank you. I really dig Ibanez. I think it has like a really like bitey, like I don't know. It's a strong tone. So this song, the first one I'm going to do is one that's kind of a little bit slower. I've been doing a lot more sort of like funk and house and soul lately, but this one I wrote a few years ago, kind of about a concept that I was thinking of about how like it's important to get back to a sense of childlike wonder about approaching the world, really going through the world in a way that everything is new, open to experience. I think that's really valuable. And I kind of wrote this song about that idea. It's called Kids. It's not available on any platforms yet. I've hit some roadblocks with bedroom producing, but we're getting past it. But yeah, you know how it is.
We'll have to talk.
We had a
about
whole
that, yeah.
technology conversation before we got started. But this is Kids, and it'll soon be available wherever you find your music.
Awesome.
fight, she said. Take it in and clear your head. And maybe we can just pretend that we remember how it felt when we were kids. I will follow you if you want me to. When we were kids, when we were kids, when we were kids. Don't look at me that way, she said. I can tell what's in your head, and all your needs will not be met, 'cause you've forgotten what it feels to be a kid. I will follow you. Give me reason to. When we were kids, when we were kids, when we were kids, when we were kids, when we were kids. Come up to the roof, she said. The city's alive, your eyes are dead. I'm tired of living life, I said. Could you remind me how it feels to be a kid?
That was cool.
Thank you.
That was cool. That sounded like some early 2000s hard rock, but it was like it's not the hard rock, but it's the softer stuff.
Mm-hmm. Like some Finger 11 Hoobastank sort of vibe. Yeah.
When the fray was out, the script was kicking it.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. I never heard you play that song. Where you been
I've
hiding that?
I've done it for a couple open mics. I've done it at Geezer's a time or two.
Okay. Must not been where I'm at.
It's one of the only ones that I ever really play out, because it's one that I'm really most proud of. And honestly, it should be out right now. And I was trying to get it done for the podcast, but it didn't line up that way. But you know, we're here. Everything happens for a reason. Maybe it'll be mastered better by someone else at a later date.
Oh, dude, you as long as it, it doesn't necessarily have to be mastered. I mean, you could put it through a little thing on the internet and it'd master it.
Yeah.
And it'd be fine.
Yeah, I'm finding that. So someone that I look up to a lot, that I follow, he's really blown up right now in Atlanta. Shout out Gus Glasser on Instagram. His handle's like Mick Gymnasty or something like that. But he has this whole thing about, like, it doesn't matter what you post. It doesn't matter if it's garbage. Just post it. Like, make it, create it, get in front of your stuff, do your thing, and just put it out there. And I mean, literally that's the way that I approach my shows. I don't write set lists anymore. I've been doing this like improv sort of approach, like where I've already got all the tools to build a song if I want to, so I can just make it up as I go.
There you go.
You know,
you're like a Ableton DJ.
Yeah. Exactly right. Only I'm playing all of the instruments. I've been really grateful. This weekend, I'm actually doing Flourish Fashion Show's runway, all the music for it.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, tell me about that. What's that like?
Yeah, so Flourish is a sustainable fashion event that is hosted here in Knoxville. They get together once a year, and they get together with designers that create sustainable fashion, reclaimed fabrics, and things like that. And this year, the event is hosted at IAM's Nature Center. So around the entire pavilion there in the front, they're going to have a model walk, like all the way around the front pond and everything. Of course, everyone can come. Tickets are available on their Instagram bio. Also, in person, if you show up at the door, tickets will be available.
Do you think I can get on the walkway?
No. You would have had to have contacted them a couple weeks ago for sure. Everything is pretty finalized at this point. We had our dress rehearsal on Thursday, and it went super well. But what they asked me to do is basically just a live looped 45-minute set of improv funk sort of like vibey jams.
Okay.
And it went super well. It went really well.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. I could drop a little bit of that on you right now if you'd like.
Oh yeah, you
can make
vibe,
something up.
You can get some funk with
Make
there.
something up. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see
I want to hear if you're really worth your 2 cents.
if I'm worth my 2 cents. You're not paying me anything to be here, sir. Let's see what we're. Yeah.
Da 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 da. Da 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 da.
That's right.
I'm practicing.
You get into it already.
That's right. Give me something to mambo to.
Let me bring it on down. Kind of get a little bit chill.
It's the underwater scene.
Now everybody's looking. Everybody's thinking about, okay, where's he going to go next with this? We're going to chill out a little bit more.
That's cool.
Right?
That's
Yeah.
cool.
I mean, half the reason why I do it is just because it's so much fun. Like,
Yeah.
just doing that, the whole process, I'm figuring it out and getting to experience it as at the same time everybody else is. It's simultaneous. And it's like, the other day, last week, I was playing a show here at Geezer's, and I was in it. I was in the sauce. I'm like in the flow state, like just getting everything done. And like I'm transposing different parts, and something worked and just meshed so well together that I just started like jumping up and down with this big smile on my face. It's just like, this is the way I want to perform. And it's really rewarding to be able to do that.
It sounds rewarding.
Yeah.
But you can tell when someone's in it, when you're doing art and your heart and your soul's in it. That's when you connect with other people.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, okay, so like the models, do you they're walking, like how do you vibe for a model? Is it like, do you have to set like, all right, we got to do 120 BPM, so it's a four on the floor thing?
Basically, yeah. So they had sort of like, and hopefully they won't see this before the event, but I told all my friends, like, they've given me some direction, and I'm largely going to disregard most of it. However, the tempo
Isn't
is
that how you get fired?
Well, you can't simultaneously say you have creative freedom and also like, but you need to stick within this box. I'm like, okay, well, there's some wiggle room here. But like the biggest thing is that I do have to keep to a tempo to keep everybody walking fast enough,
right?
To keep time.
See, that's the kind of what I was wondering.
So yeah, 125 BPM is about where I'm sitting.
Hey, their stuff's not jiggling enough, Brent. Come on now, dude.
Right? Yeah, we got accessories. We got feathers that need to bounce up and down. We gotta keep that tempo up. But yeah, so the way that I kind of approach it is like I'm setting up like, I mean, it's really experimental. I don't know what I'm going to play before I get there. That's the thing. I have like kind of some ideas. I have some progressions in my head, some ideas that work, some things that I've played before that I know work. But when I like on the dress rehearsal, when I showed up, I was like, basically, how fast do you need this to be? And then from there, I'm just going to noodle until I figure something out. And we really sat in this like really cool pocket where there was like a lot of like minor sevenths going on, and just like so this machine right here, there's a lot that you can do with it. There's a lot that goes on with it.
Going on over here.
So it's got about like 100 and I would say 100 kits, but there's like the basic drum kit, which would be like there's that, but then we have like,
I really like the hats. The hats sound good. Oh, dude, I'd want to walk dirty to that one.
Yeah. There's a little bit different. So there's like different drums, but then there's also different effects, different sounds, different like.
Do you have any whistles?
That's what I'm trying to find. I'm trying to get to it. Right? You gotta give me some time. So we got some shakers, we got some cowbells.
Ooh, those sound good,
right? Because it's all velocity controlled, so it sounds really natural when you play it.
Those sound so good.
Let me see what else I got in here. We got a like open hi-hat jazz.
Oh, yeah, you can do some like.
Yeah.
And then do a big reveal when the reveal comes.
Exactly. You get the feel. Okay, so we got.
What are those called? The metal dishes that they.
Steel drums.
Steel drums, yeah.
There's a little bit of that.
Metal dishes.
So yeah.
With every footstep.
Right. I'm like throwing in like weird sounds and stuff, and like there's also pitch controls on here, so I can kind of like. Let me see.
You better be filming yourself.
Oh, I will.
Like
the whole thing's gonna be filmed, so it'll be available to view, and then there's also someone that's making. Sort of like a documentary student film about the event itself.
Okay.
So all of this is going to be available. And there's going to be informal people like taking video as well, like iPhones and Snapchat stories and things like that. So there will be examples of this all over the internet after Sunday. And yeah, I'm just excited to be a part of it. And be able to do my thing, you know.
So where do you get all your like inspiration from? Like, does this just come out of thin air? Were you just born with it?
Yes.
I was born this way, boy.
Right? No, I mean, my inspiration, my like where I started in my musical journey has been kind of all over the place. When I was a kid, my dad was really into like the Police and Bjork and like just sort of like new wave, like different 80s stuff, like B-52s, stuff that was like kind of like I would say cutting edge at the time.
That explains a lot.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
And then I got a little bit older and I got into Daft Punk and Gorillaz.
Okay.
And then I started listening to like Pink Floyd and a lot of like. Then I went through like a rebellious like rock like new metal phase where it was like all Seether and Linkin Park and System of a Down and 3 Days Grace and that sort of thing.
There you go.
And I there's still like a large place in my heart for that.
Yeah.
Also My Chemical Romance, you know, like super emo stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I've really kind of gravitated back towards like the Daft Punk sort of groovy, like really just like the love of music that I feel that comes from that kind of composition is stuff that I really dig. And then I've been exposed to a lot more funk later in my life, like here in the last like 3 years, funk and jazz.
Who's your go-to funk band?
You put me on the spot.
I know, but it's like I have to ask this question
one
for
of
my
those things
dad
where
because he's into it.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
one of those things where it's more like the genre I'm into, and I've always been like a nerd where I know like the song, the album, the artist, and who composed it. But like with this, for some reason, I'm just kind
went
of
a
like
step further.
just
Who
blanket.
composed it?
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I really dig a lot of the stuff that Scary Pockets are doing, and they're kind of like a super group.
Okay.
Scary Pockets is really good. Wolfpack, Corey Wong. Let's see. There's Pomplamoose. But like some funk standards, I would say obviously James Brown. I mean that's kind of like a gimme, you know.
Yeah.
I'd have to think about it.
Could you imagine performing with James,
No.
Mr. Brown?
No.
I am.
Mostly because he was coked out for most of his performances.
It was worse than that. What have you? It's the YouTube series where they animate the band members and they talk about all these crazy stories and things they did. Kind of looks like Hank, not Hank of the Hill. What is that show called?
Hank Hill?
Hank Hill. I can't.
King of the Hill.
King of the Hill. But it kind of looks like that animation. Well,
Okay.
the band that played with James, they were talking about how they were passing around this drink and they had dropped like 10 tabs of acid in it. and they just passing around and James comes out, hey, what y'all drinking? And they're like, nothing. And he's like, let me give him some of that. And he sips it and he's like,
Did you just kill it in one go?
and they're like, James, he downed this whole big gulp, dude, just gone. And they're like, oh my, oh. And so they get on stage and James is in a different world.
He probably played a good fucking show after that.
Yeah, he was getting into it. I
Damn.
think that was one of the shows where he really started, you know,
Yeah.
it was the dance moves, all that really came out. I could see you doing that.
What, downing a full
No,
drink full of acid and then going on stage?
do you have the gall? Do you have
The gumption, the brass, the stones.
Because there's that's to do it.
Catch me on Sunday and we'll find out.
That's scary.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. So what about your style? Where do you get? Is that because that I guess you're really into, you're into the alternative stuff. You're into funk. You're into pop. You're into so But what about the style? Did you get that from your dad too?
No. Well, the baldness I did for sure. Shout out Tim. The style has been kind of like I have really been leaning into the idea that we are supposed to kind of make our own rules when it comes to almost everything, and I feel like that has translated into my music as well. Because like if you think about jazz and you think about like some of even the ways that instruments are tuned, that has been decided by someone, and it's kind of a standard that people like they've adopted because it works, and it does work in a lot of settings. But if you want to tune every string of your guitar to F and figure out what works, then you can do that, and that's 100% correct. And like if I want to wear literally clashing patterns and paint my face and paint my nails, and like it's just about pushing the envelope of what's possible, I feel. And I try to do that with music, and I try to do that in my life. Like if I can experiment, if I can have fun, like if I can, why not? You know? It was like what we were saying before we started. If you got it, use it.
Yeah.
You know? So
that's okay. I'm on the same page now.
Yeah.
I hear that. You got to do something that makes you, first off, do I like it? And then second, well,
that's the biggest thing is that I just like it. I just love it. I love being able to just like be expressive. And I don't know if it was David Bowie or if it was someone else that said that like if you're gonna be in front of people, if you're gonna like be an artist, if you're gonna be a rock star, show them a rock star. Show them like someone that they won't see every day. Like so that's an aspect of it too. Like I don't want to be generic. I don't want to be just like, and there's nothing wrong with wearing flannels and wearing like jeans. And I do that. I mean, I definitely rock some hoodie. I'm not throwing any shade at you.
No.
You look very put together with the Bass Pro Shops. That's a vibe. I'm actually jealous of that hat. But like that's the thing. Like you can exist in all those spaces and like, yeah, like why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
Well, I'm kind of jealous because I can't do that. You know, it just
I would
it
replace.
doesn't come to be very naturally.
I would replace can't with I haven't done that yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There you go. So if you took me to the store, you could help me. Like, all right, you're gonna put this on, that on.
We could build a fit for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where do you get your fit? Is that like your Amazon best purchases of the day, or?
No, I don't let Jeff Bezos dress me. I
All Amazon basic folks.
most of my yeah, right. Most of my stuff is thrifted. Like I go
Okay.
to a lot of vintage stores around. I try and find things that are you know, affordable first. I think that's my biggest concern because I like I've dropped some money on some clothes and always regretted it after. Like I'm like, man, I could really find something for $5
Bought
in a
those
bin.
Hugo Boss $300 jeans.
Yeah. Like what? Why? It's denim. Like there's no reason for that. Or the Yeezys, the shoes, like that look like
don't
trash.
tell me you did that.
No. I'm shitting on that hard because I don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense to me. It's a trend. It's like it's just clout. It's just a name that's attached to something that isn't really worth it. And you can make good fashion choices, good style choices without breaking your bank. Like even if you find something that's like for Sunday, I found something at French Fried Vintage. Shout out French Fried Vintage up on Central Street. That is like this like vest sort of thing that isn't my size, but if I put something over it, a top layer, and accessorize in the right way, then I can repurpose and reutilize the way this thing is supposed to fit, and kind of make it my own. And it's gonna fit in very well for the fit that I have planned for tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah.
Now I saw your fit you had on the other day. It was all black. You had this it's not a robe.
It's kind of a robe. It's like a kimono sort of thing. I don't know what to call them.
But you had some stuff going on with your eyes. I was like,
yeah,
is that how he's showing up today? I was like, dude, that's sick.
This whole week I've been kind of playing around with that. I went to Ulta and I picked up a lot of new stuff. So I'm working with new colors and new like types of material, like new eyeliners and things.
Okay.
That's also just like, yeah, it's one of those things like if you can do it, why not? I feel like I have decent bone structure in my face. I feel like there are lines that I can complement and different design elements that I can pull off well, and so I feel like that's also one of those things. Like, why not?
So when did you first start doing
makeup?
I was about to call it face paint, and I was like, that's not what it's called.
It's makeup for sure. Yeah.
So
I first started putting makeup on. I would say right around when I turned like 24, 25. I kind of made sort of a life split. I was kind of doing one thing for a long time, and I've kind of decided to do my own thing now. And
is that when you fell off the corporate ladder?
Yeah, we'll call it the corporate ladder.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, I had like this latter portion of my 20s, which by the way is wrapping up on May 1st. I'm turning 30 on May 1st. So, but the latter portion of my 20s has been all about just kind of like figuring out where I fit in, where I sit, like where Brent exists in the universe, and like what he needs, where, you know, who he is basically. And I know that's kind of like probably cliche and like oh, who am I?
Oh, it's only cliche because all of us have to deal with it.
Exactly, right? It's like that's all we hear about is like figure out who you are and like be yourself, be true to yourself.
All those Gen X people just really just gave us some stuff, dude. Why not? So okay, you're figuring things out.
So yeah, so it was like right around that time that I started like experimenting with things. That I was like, you know, I didn't grow a beard until I was about 24, 25. And I've really found that this is like the way, like my face was meant for this beard. Like I can't shave. You would not you would not believe how different I look if I shave. But yeah, like it's just all part of it. Just figuring out like, you know, what I like, what I enjoy, and how I want to show up.
There you go. So do you remember the first time you went out and you're like, oh God, I got the makeup on? Like, are people going to look at me weird, or were you just
You know, I tend
vibing with
to
it?
I make decisions about like what spaces I'm gonna be in. I think the first time that I ever like put makeup on my face, it was first of all it was Halloween, so it was
Okay.
like it was a little bit easier, and I also
Yeah.
went to a drag event, so I felt like okay
On Halloween?
yes, so I was like okay
What in the
I'm
world's
not
that
in
like?
bad company here. It was nice. It was a lot of fun. Like
I'm
if
just
you,
trying to think. There's already makeup and everything going
Yeah.
on. It's like now we're gonna take it a step further.
Yeah, it was like no holds barred. Everyone was showing up that day.
That's
It was a
awesome.
good time. But yeah, so I tend to like I'm not gonna go to Newport, Tennessee, in like full mascara and wearing like a flowy thing. Do you know what I mean? Like
Were you with? You haven't gone to no biker bars then?
not like
looking
that.
like-
No, that's part of like just like knowing where like knowing your audience and stuff.
Uh-huh.
Because I've played bike events. I mean when I was singing with Whiskey Icarus, we did all the bike events out in Sevierville at the Hut. We did the Bootlegger Harley Davidson stage.
Okay.
But you show up differently for something like that rather than you know a queer friendly place in Knoxville, Tennessee. But yeah, so it's all about just like knowing your audience, knowing like not pandering to people's comfort zones, but also not intentionally pissing people off just for the drama of it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a bit tasteful.
Yeah,
to,
exactly.
to do it.
Exactly.
And
And on my page, I show up however I want to because that's my space.
right,
Not literally my space,
right.
but
Even though that was a really cool like MySpace.
Right.
Like
you remember MySpace.
I was never on MySpace.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh, shit.
I didn't know anything I didn't really know anything
How
about
old are you, Gunnar?
MySpace. 27.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
it's still in your like generation.
Yeah, but I was like, dude, I was playing with Legos.
Mhm.
Like I didn't need no MySpace. I was very happy. Of course, how old was I? Hold on.
What, middle school? Had to be,
That's-
right?
Yeah, middle school. Oh yeah, they had the Star Wars Legos come out, and now those Legos are worth like thousands of dollars, and they're just sitting in a trunk.
That's
somewhere.
another thing that I hate is that the Lego Corporation is charging so much money for their
For
plastic
what?
pieces.
For freaking what?
Okay, calm down.
You get like 5
standing up out
pieces
of the
in a
chair.
little tiny box, and now it's like this is like $50. Go.
No, more than that, like $300. Yeah.
They got the new Harry Potter train, and I'm like,
Oh,
it's so cool.
Pull the trigger.
$500 though.
That's the thing. Will it make you happy?
Well,
Yeah.
it'll make me happy for a little bit. So, were you a Lego fan? Did you?
I
you
was,
get in?
yeah.
Yeah.
My parents got me Mega Bloks because
Okay.
we were a middle class, thrifty family, and I think they were secondhand. But I played with those a lot as a kid for sure. It was the Legos, the Jenga, the Play-Doh, the clay. Like I was allowed to be very creative as a kid, which I think translates into a lot of like what I do today.
Do you think that all that playing, working with your hands, like, did something for your brain? That
Oh, it has to. It has
like,
to.
But like, do you notice how other people who didn't have that, they approach things so differently?
I maybe I don't have the vocabulary or the tools to describe what the difference is, but I do notice a difference in those who didn't have the ability to like play as a kid, because it's a developmental thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, there are real cognitive benefits to allowing your children to express themselves, allowing them to be themselves, and giving them a safe space to do that, and to create in the way that they feel is appropriate. My brother and sister and I, mostly my brother and sister, but I used to get in on this as well. We used to do little like jams. Like my brother got really into music production super young and like understood like Sonar Cakewalk and Logic and like those types of programs, the digital audio workstations. And he was like, this is my canvas. This is what I want to do. And so we would just spit some shit, and he would put a beat to it, and we would just like play around with it, and we came up with some really cool stuff. Like as kids, it was really silly, but like looking,
when you look back, but it was like really
it was
cool.
cool.
In the
Yeah,
moment.
it was great for what it was. It was like this is a really, and I'm just grateful that we have the opportunity to do that. You know, that we were allowed to just kind of play around in our basement rooms with a computer and a microphone and a shitty little acoustic guitar and a ukulele, just jamming, just having a good time, just being kids, you know?
So how old were you when you were doing that? Like middle school?
Yeah, I would say so. Like probably like preteen to middle teens.
Okay. And then when was it like? How long have you been doing music? Like you're turning the big 3-0, I guess. Well,
Don't remind
actually,
me.
you're turning 23.
Right.
He's turning 23.
Plus shipping and handling. Yeah.
And so, but like, why are you still playing music? Like, you just can't stop? Like, you got started and was it going somewhere? And then,
Man, how to answer that question? That's an interesting way that you've put this. I feel like music has always been a part of my life. Like I have always enjoyed listening to music. I've always enjoyed singing. I've always enjoyed just the whole human aspect of music and the way that it is like intrinsic to our existence. Like we can't live without music. It's a part of who we are as a species. And I feel like I've really kind of sunken into that and allowed myself to really just like exist in the belief that this is a very important thing to be a part of. You know, I played and maybe I didn't always have a grasp on like what that looked like or how I would be in that space, because I had an acoustic guitar and I would get out and I would do just like singer-songwriter type gigs where I would cover a lot of like Ed Sheeran and what's that, Train?
oh yeah,
Coldplay.
First album I ever bought was Train album with "Marry Me" on it. First one.
Really?
Yeah, it's like really strange. I
That
just
tracks,
saw it.
I feel like
It was in Walmart. I was in Walmart. I saw it and I was like, I gotta buy this album because I knew like most of the songs on it, and it was like this was amazing. And it was kind of Train is that band that's kind of like they're hard. They have that edge to them.
Yeah. Did you ever hear the cover they did of the Led Zeppelin? I don't know if it was a few covers that they put on one like album project, or if it was just like every band was doing. But they did a cover of "Ramble On" by Zeppelin, which I really enjoy. And I dislike Train, to be perfectly frank with you. I don't think that I can listen to a lot of their music and enjoy it. But
why?
It's something about
You're
his
not
voice.
like him,
something
or you're
about
not like their drummer. Like,
you know, I feel this way about a lot of like chart topping artists, that I just don't agree with their choices. Like they have a really good foundation.
like their significant others. Like
no, their
their
musical
food.
choices.
Oh, their food. Music.
Their musical choices, like where they go from where they start. Like if you start in C, and you're doing a melody over that, and you're making a choice that is like almost like played out. Like we don't need to hear that. Like you could make something more interesting, and that may be an example of the way that I'm being a snob about it, because like obviously they're critically acclaimed, they're very well listened to, people love them, and that's fine. But like for me, I just don't agree with their musical choices.
But you're like into this. You're like disco, for example. It's like it's pretty intricate. I know it's like you listen to let's say you listen to some Bee Gees, right? It's not. It's complicated.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on there.
Yeah.
A whole lot going on there. It's
Yeah.
not like Train where it's, you know, you got the drums, the percussion, the bass guitars, and then you have some keys.
It's like
and
a C,
some
D,
pads.
E, and G progression. Like just a really simple thing. Like have you ever played Drops of Jupiter? I think it's C, F, and G.
I know
the
the
entire
song.
way. Yeah.
I know the song.
And it's just simple. And simplicity is good. It can be very good. And a lot of really simple music is beautiful. I just
Did you say sinful music is beautiful? Is
well,
that what you said?
That too. Simple, but yeah, also sinful. You know, you gotta sprinkle some sin in there as well. Like Salt Bay with some sin.
Just let me get. I'm sorry, Mama. So what about when you approach making music? I mean, do you? Because I was listening to some of your stuff on the SoundCloud and on YouTube. You obviously didn't make it like this. You got into your DAW and you programmed it and everything. It didn't sound simple.
Right.
It sounded complicated.
Yeah, that stuff is a big can of worms as when you open it up, for sure.
Yeah.
Like it's more ambitious than even I realize sometimes, because like, yeah, playing it live is one thing and I can know all the parts, but like getting into that program and then having all the tracks, and then you're like, oh well, I have to have duplicates of these tracks, and then I have to have like accents, and I have to use effects, I have to create reverb, I have to do like compression, and I have to like it's a lot to keep up with, and really it's you can get burnt out very easily. I'm coming around to the idea that Apple products are more optimized for a lot of these things, and that's really the direction that I'm going.
That's not entirely true, but yeah.
For someone like me who's like really not willing to do the legwork, or who doesn't have the time to do all the legwork to like figure all this stuff out, like I'm kind of just admitting that my fight against Apple is probably at an end.
So what are you working on right now? Are you working on anything? Any projects?
Yeah, so Kids, that's the very next thing that'll be out as soon as I figure out which route I want to take to make that happen. Kids will be the next single that I drop. I've got a couple other songs that I'm wrapping up the writing of, just to drop some teasers of some title tracks. I've got Something Special.
Oh, you do? You got something special coming
That's
out?
the name of the song. Something Special. Ex-Disciple. I think Matter of Time is another one, which
That's
I
a
played.
good title.
Yeah, I played that one with Owen Tharp at Pretentious.
Okay.
We actually, so I had a couple guests come in at my Pretentious show the last time, and when we were rehearsing for the show, we dropped into this chord progression, and I was like, wait, that's a really good chord progression. I like that a lot. I want to make that a song. And I went home that weekend and I wrote out the rest of it, and then we came together and we played it like as a finished thing.
There you go.
So that'll be one of the ones. That's more.
So is Noah helping you write that one?
Owen.
Did I say
Sorry.
Noah? No, I just heard Noah.
No.
I was thinking of another guy.
I think I know Noah. I think I know who you're talking about. But
I think you probably do.
But no, he was more of just like inspiration at the beginning, and then we just went from there. I went from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's when I write, it's been okay. I kind of take the reins on this afterwards because I can't stop thinking about it. It's like I just gotta move it. So
but to get back to your question about like how music fit into my life, it's always just been a part of who I am, and I feel like it's everyone's greatest work to realize what their purpose is and what their destiny is, and tied into that is really what you want out of life. Like, what do you want when you look back and like to say that, okay, I have done this thing, and that's what I'm really proud of, and I feel like music is that for me.
And is it like to have some masterpieces that you've built that, like people been playing the Mozart song recently, and then it's got Pablo the Penguin in it. Never mind. But
You've lost me. But
yeah.
Masterpieces, I don't think I really want to like have like a magnum opus. I mean, obviously I will write music and continue to put music out, and create. I think really I just want to be plugged in to whatever creative spirit that allows people to make good stuff.
Okay.
I want to be able to touch that and to grasp it, and to really live and exist in that space to where if I'm playing, then I'm proud of the music that I'm playing.
So it's not just in the ones and zeros space, but it's in the live space. It's in
which I think is almost more important, because I can't really connect to someone over. I mean, you can connect to someone over the internet space, the digital. People did that over lockdown. The TikTok and Instagram and all those things were instrumental in exposing people to new people, and people that were also like them, people that they found some solidarity with, and people that they could connect with. So you can definitely do that, but I feel that my live shows are really where I get to see people and people get to see me. And that is really truly what it's about, is seeing and being seen.
That's what really like fulfills you. Yeah. I hear that.
And it also, if I'm improvising new songs, and if I'm making stuff up on the fly, and people that are at my live shows are really kind of invested in what I'm doing, there's a back and forth there. There's an energy exchange. I'm getting inspiration from them, and they're enjoying what I'm doing with what they've given me. Like, often I'll ask for a prompt. I'll be like, what's on your mind? What should I sing about? What did you do today? I walk my dog, and then I'll do like a whole 10-minute jam about walking dogs in the dog park, and you know.
Sounds like a Billy Joel song.
Oh, my dog shit, I gotta put it in the bag. My dog shit, I gotta put it in the bag. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. I hear that.
But yeah, I just love playing. Always have.
So, in playing and doing all that, you're working on your new projects right now, but what's do you feel like anything's holding you back, or do you feel like if you could focus on anything right now to get you that just a little bit better, what do you think that would be right now?
You saying I need some improvement?
I'm
He
saying,
said
like-
I have marks and it needs improvement.
No.
I
What I
think-
mean is, do you feel like you're struggling with anything? Like, if someone could help you with something, what would it be?
Like professional help? Like, should I go to therapy? I do go to therapy, and it's been instrumental in my mental health. But like, so in terms of like what's holding me back, I feel like for the first time, nothing is holding me back. I feel like I really do have like a good foundation, and I'm grounded in such a way that I can make choices that are aligned with who I'm trying to be, with the best parts of me. There are obviously, like, money makes the world go round. You need money to do things, and obviously I'm working on a few things that will get me kind of set up for that in a financial way. But as far as like music and my career in music, it's every single day I'm getting. It's become a very slow process, but it's growing. I'm feeling more well established. I'm feeling like I have like some validity in this space. And I think when you start out as a kid, kind of just like late teens playing, like you really have to prove yourself in a way. And I feel that
Gotta cut your teeth.
And I feel that I have done that. I feel that I have proven myself. And, you know, it's really gratifying to be able to talk to some of these bigger event spaces and venues and things that are happening in like the larger community. People that are making a difference, and they want me to be a part of that. I think
Right.
that is evidence of how far I've come, and I'm just really grateful to be here. You know,
So you're right. I mean, dude, you're playing the fashion gig.
yeah,
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I know a lot of guys, and they're not playing it.
yeah,
It's you.
right, yeah.
How did you land that anyway?
I was playing at Marble City Market, and the outreach coordinator extraordinaire Nancy Wilson, she brought the creative director of Flourish, Ben Prager, to Marble City Market to catch the end of my set. And he saw me doing my live looping thing, and saw me, you know, doing everything that I was doing. And he came up to me after the set break, and he was like, "Listen, we need you. We're going to talk to you about this show that we're doing, about this fashion show. We'll send you details, but are you free this date? Can you do this?" And I was like, I will be free that date. So it was kind of like right place, right time. You know, it's incredible to have supportive friends because that wouldn't have happened if Nancy hadn't done that. A huge shout out to her. Like, literally, she is like so great for
Nancy
the Knoxville
is a very,
community.
very cool woman.
She's fantastic, yeah, and doing great music stuff in her own right. But yeah, she's working with Flourish, and she brought Ben over there, and then he saw me do my thing, and then it just snowballed from there. So it was just kind of one of those things where I showed up and I was doing my thing, and someone recognized me. So
There you go. Good for you.
Thank
Good
you.
for you.
thank you.
So do you have? So I think I kind of already asked this, but I wasn't very satisfied with the answer. Do you have any dreams for your music?
I would love to go on tour one day. I think someday soon, whenever, because that's a big logistical thing. But I would love to tour the live looping thing and to be able to play across the United States, across wherever I am. Like, we were talking about like knowing your audience, wherever that would fit in well, where people would receive that. I really want to be able to travel with this and be able to show other people, just like create moments, create a really good atmosphere in the show that I'm making. I think that I think that's really soon around the corner, being able to like reach out to venues in other towns, other states, and being able to travel with this thing. I think that's the next step.
Do you do anything heavy, like chugging in the loop station over there?
Not with this setup. No, I feel like it's not set up for that. It's not optimized for that. I could double kick. I actually have. So another jam that I wrote is one that it's an instrumental jam that I kind of based on that sort of like psychedelic stoner rock genre, where it's like big atmospheric sounds, really driving heavy guitars. And it does get a little bit heavy, and that's another one that I'm going to be like recording and dropping and mastering. That tune's going to be called Cotopaxi, which is the name of a volcano near where my family is from in Ecuador.
Okay.
And it's kind of based around like that like volcano erupting sort of thing.
It's a little bit heavy. Album artwork.
Yeah. It's going to be great. But yeah, so I don't do a whole lot of heavy stuff, but I do enjoy kind of experimenting with that and sort of that psychedelic rock space.
Okay.
But yeah, like if we're talking about like genre that I really,
but get over it.
You'll have to get over your disappointment. There's plenty of dudes doing heavy stuff. I don't. There doesn't need to be one more guy who's just trying to do it. Like I've really felt like, you know, I this time in my life is like figuring out what I like, what I want to do.
What's that chick that I don't know what her name is, and I'm not even sure. I think she's British, but she was doing the looping stuff, and she's a blonde girl, kind of a little heavier, and she just blew up all of a sudden. This one song blew up on TikTok, and then she was playing like one of the big concerts over there in big festivals in Britain. And then I think she was coming over here. I don't know what it was, but I'm gonna have to find it and show it to you, because it was like, that's Brent, because you could do that.
Okay.
Like you could. Yeah,
I'm sure I could.
Getting into it.
Yeah.
Really getting into it.
Share that with me, because I'd be interested to see that.
So, but I got to ask you one more thing before I let you go, because I know you got to get going here.
Yeah.
You really focus on the instruments. You're it's not so much the lyrics. Is that true, or am I like approaching it?
Well, it kind of goes hand in hand. I mean, so I will focus on lyrics for the songs that I'm sitting down and I'm writing, and I have something that I want to say and a message and a story that I want to convey. Okay. For live looping, as I'm improvising, that is less important, because it's more about just like the vibe, I suppose, would be the way that I would put that. Because I do really enjoy playing the instruments, but I also enjoy singing, and that's why I will cover songs with really good vocal melodies and good lyrics that I connect with in my shows. But I do also feel that the poetry of it is very important. So I kind of go both ways with that. Like I feel like, yes, the instrumentation can sometimes overshadow that. It's sometimes not so important what you say, but how you say it. But also the lyrics are really crucial if you're trying to tell a story.
Mm. Yep. I was just wondering. that was a selfish question. Well, dude, tell the people where they can find you, where they can best get in contact with you. Obviously, it's going to be in written form too, but just tell it to them if they're listening.
For sure. So you can find me on all platforms at MidnightHyder, HYDER, not Midnight Rider.
Yeah, not Rider.
Yeah, Midnight.
Even though he does ride.
I do. And my name is Brent Hyder. You can find me Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and that's the main platforms that I'm on at the moment. I also have Spotify. Brent Hyder is the Spotify, BRENTHYDER. I've got 2 tracks out currently, Vermilion and Be Not Afraid, and those are both like very psychedelic, very experimental, sort of like those kinds of tracks. But yeah, look me up, book me for things. Tell 1,000 of your friends about
Check
me.
him out, and go you listen to his stuff. Watch him on his social. You'll get a good idea of what's going on there.
Thank you so much, Gunnar. This was a lot of fun. A blast.
Thank you for coming on. It was fun.